What's up, guys? We're back in Philly after a nice Happy New Year in South Beach in Miami, but we're back local. Happy New Year. Friday, January 3rd, 2020, another section of a Friday night trifecta. Let's start it off. The big first leg of the trifecta, Eagles-Seahawks playoffs, wildcard weekend. It's one of the best weekends of the year. If you were watching the videos, I've told you a couple weeks ago, if the Eagles sneaked in, which they did, I didn't think they would, but they did, I was wrong. They would play Seattle, and I think it's a favorable matchup. I said back then, if it somehow happened, I think they would win the game. All the momentum is shifting towards the Eagles. Seattle is falling apart. They had a tough game against San Francisco last week on a short week, cross country. I think this game's going to be close. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be tight. Seattle has no running game. Yes, they have Marshawn Lynch, beast mode. The guy hasn't played enough yet. He's been out of the league for a little bit. He's not going to make a difference. Eagles front line is going to be playing well. Eagles home crowd, home field advantage is going to be key. And I think Carson Wentz, this is what I said, the third leg of that trifecta, beat Dallas, number one, get in the playoffs, number two, win a playoff game, third trifecta for him. And I'm a believer, guys. If he plays well with these weapons that he has, Goddard, Sanders, Scott, Ward, etc., show me what he can do. He's going to do it. He's going to outplay Russell Wilson. The only thing that makes me nervous, DK Metcalf, he's a beast. The Eagles secondary is a little bit shaky. You know, they've been playing better as of late. But if DK Metcalf makes a bunch of big plays, we might be in some trouble. But I'm telling you guys, I picked it back then a couple weeks ago. Eagles 20, Seattle 16. I would say book that. That's a good one, guys. And what happens? I know we're hypothesizing. Everyone says, don't look ahead, Jeff. Let's focus on Seattle. I don't listen to anybody, guys. I'm stubborn. If you know me, I am stubborn. Let's talk about the following week, divisional week. I think we're going to end up playing San Francisco. We got to go cross country on a short week. It will be a Saturday 4:45 game. I think they would win that game too, provided Lane Johnson plays, provided D. Jackson is back. If Deshaun Jackson is back and Lane plays, everyone else stays healthy. Another big game from Carson. They win again. And then we're playing the Saints. Parity, as I tell you, at its finest. A rematch of last year's playoff game. Saints-Eagles. But that's all I'm going to talk about for that now. 2016, Eagles will win Sunday, the last game of wildcard weekend. Number two of the trifecta. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the gambling aspect of it. I don't gamble, right, guys? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't know. But if we're talking parlays, the biggest suckers bet of gambling, but also the most fun. Let's run down the four games, shall we? We already talked about the Eagles. Eagles are a 2-point underdog, I believe. I would say take the Eagles +2 or even outright in the money line. I think that's a good pick. But let's talk about the Bills-Texans. Bills are +3. I like what they're doing. Josh Allen is somewhat they say. Carson Wentz 2.0. Their defense is strong. Houston is playing everybody, so it seems, but they're banged up. Deshaun Watson, Fuller, J.J. Watt. I think they're going to run out of gas. I think Bills win that game outright also. Maybe lose by 1, but I would take the Bills +3. And then the late game, Saturday night, you got the Patriots and the Titans. That's 5.5 Patriots. Everyone's saying it's going to snow in Patriot country. Just sort of like saying, is it going to be full circle from the Tuck rule when they played the Raiders? What was it, 10, 15 years ago, guys? I don't see it. Belichick and Brady, they're not losing to Miami to end the season. And then the Titans, it's not happening. Put all of your money, every shekel and dime on the Patriots. I think they win by double digits. There's no way the Titans are going to win that game. It's not going to be close. Let's go to Sunday, NFC games. You got the Saints playing the Vikings. Everyone's saying that's going to be a close game too. I think the Saints, the last time I checked, they're -7.5. Again, put all your money on the Saints. I think the Saints win by double digits. They're my pick to get to the Super Bowl. They may even win the Super Bowl. I think the Saints win by about 13. And then the late game, we already talked about it, 2016 Eagles. Take the Eagles +2 or the money line. You can't go wrong. So just to recap, guys, if you're doing a 4-leg parlay, take the Bills +3, take the Saints -7.5, take the Eagles +2, and take the Patriots -5.5. That'd probably be a 4-game parlay straight up like that, 10-1. You put $10 down, you win $100. Take out your lady to a nice dinner, and then maybe send me a drink, and everybody's happy. You'll thank me later. The third leg of the trifecta. Let's talk some Sixers. I'm getting a little bit of hate now. They're calling me the jinx. Ever since I was in South Beach and saw the Sixers play the Heat, which was a great game in Miami, they lost in overtime. They haven't won since. They lost to Orlando. They played Indiana and lost by about 20, 30 points. It was an ugly, ugly game. There's a lot of issues going on. Al Horford doesn't think He's being used right in the offense. Ben Simmons won't shoot three-pointers. They're blaming the coach. There's a lot of problems. What are you going to do? I've heard rumors right now, guys. Al Horford, Zaire Smith, and a draft pick for C.J. McCollum. We get a much better offensive player. Do I like that? Do I not like it? I hate it. I think we'd have a better offensive player, but we don't need offense. We'll get it together with Tobias, Richardson, Embiid, and Simmons. If you trade Al Horford, you know what's going to happen? We're going to lose our physicality. Al Horford and Embiid, that combo, that's the reason why we dominate Boston. That's the reason why we can beat Toronto. That's the reason why we're going to beat Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals. If you lose Horford, even though he's not producing like he did, you're going to suffer more down low defensively. We're not getting rid of Horford. You got to keep him. He may not be producing on the stat sheet. He does a lot for it in the locker room and also defensively. He's a guy you got to keep. If you lose him, you're in big trouble. Now, let's talk about the coaching. I've been saying for 3 years, Brett Brown, I love that guy. He'd be like a great uncle, a great buddy to hang out with. He's too nice. He babies Ben Simmons. He babies Joel Embiid. I would get rid of him. I said it a couple years ago, but I'm not going to get rid of him just to get rid of him. Who would you have? There's only one guy that I would want coaching the team, and some of you may know. Jeff. Not this Jeff. I would love that job. That would be amazing. Jeff Van Gundy, I've been saying it. Every time he commentates these games, he salivates and is so complimentary. I think he would get these guys in gear. If they say, oh, Jeff, he's too out of date in the league. The guy watches, he calls the games for years. He knows what's going on, how the league's changed. I think he would be great. If you could get Van Gundy, I would do it in a second. Other than that, there's nobody I want. People say, what about Jay Wright from Villanova? He's the next greatest thing. He's a college coach. It's never going to work in the NBA. I don't see it. It would be pretty cool to see Jay Wright go from Villanova to the Sixers, but that's not the type of coach we need. So what do? Jeff Van Gundy or just ride out Brett Brown and see what happens? But calm down, guys. We'll see what happens. They're playing Houston right now. It's a 2-point game, 4-point game, I think, at halftime. We'll see what happens. Horford looks all right, so we'll see. So sort of calm down on that end. So other than that, that's the trifecta, guys. Now, what do we got here? We got Tums, guys. Now, why do we have Tums? Because it's Wildcard weekend. So you guys are going to have upset stomachs watching this Eagles-Seattle game. There's going to be some ups and downs, I think, no doubt about it. So wash down those chicken wings and some of those beers with some of these Tums. It'll help late in the day, and we'll be celebrating for a win in early 2020. Happy New Year, guys. V Productions. We'll get an Eagles win. We'll see you.